All right, let's talk about something that has completely blown up online. It's an AI tool called OpenClaw. Today, we're going to break down exactly what it is, why literally everyone is talking about it, and most importantly, how you should be thinking about it.
I mean, if you spend any time on GitHub, YouTube, or really any corner of the tech world, you've almost certainly stumbled across this thing. The demos are they're wild. Showing an AI that doesn't just talk to you, it actually does stuff. And look, I'm not just making this up. The hype is real. The top videos covering OpenClaw and this whole idea of AI agents have pulled in well over 10 million views. We're talking everyone from Lex Friedman to Network Chuck diving into this new frontier. The interest here is it's absolutely massive.
So, all this buzz, it really boils down to one critical question. With this much power, is OpenClaw the ultimate productivity tool we've all been dreaming of? Or are we about to welcome a huge security nightmare right onto our own computers? Okay, so let's start with the good stuff, the promise. What exactly is OpenClaw? You might have actually first heard about it under its original name, Claudabot. What is this thing even designed to do? So, the first thing you've got to understand is that OpenClaw is not a chatbot. Not at all. It's an autonomous AI agent. What does that mean? Well, instead of you giving it a prompt and getting some text back, you give it a high-level goal. It then figures out all the steps on its own and starts executing actual computer commands to make it happen. Think about the difference like this. With a chatbot, you ask a question. You get information. Simple. With an AI agent like OpenClaw, you give it an objective, right? Like, hey, organize my entire downloads folder. The output isn't text, it's a completed task. The files on your computer are actually moved and sorted. It's a massive leap from just getting information to seeing real-world action. So how does it pull this off? Well, the setup is surprisingly direct. It uses a big, powerful large language model as its brain. It takes your instructions from an app like Telegram, and now here's the kicker. It runs shell commands, those powerful text-based instructions, directly on your machine. It basically becomes your own personal junior system administrator, always on and ready to automate whatever you throw at it. But you know that incredible power, that powerful architecture, that's also exactly where the danger comes in. Security researchers have this term for it. They call it the lethal trifecta. It's a combination of factors that makes running these local AI agents super, super risky if you're not careful. And these guys, the security experts, they are not holding back. They're comparing an unsecured installation to literally giving a total stranger your unlocked laptop and all your private keys. This isn't some minor risk. We're talking about the equivalent of handing over your entire digital life. So this lethal trifecta, what is it? Okay, it breaks down into 3 parts. First up, persistence. Unlike a normal app you open and close, this agent is a service that's just always running, always listening in the background. Second, autonomy. If a command doesn't work, it won't just give up. It might try something else to get the job done. And that something else could cause some serious unintended damage. And third, and this is the big one, privilege. It runs with your user permissions. That means anything you can access, change, or delete, so can the agent. And that privilege, man, it can lead to some truly scary stuff. Here's the nightmare scenario. Imagine you accidentally misconfigure your setup and expose this agent to the public internet. An attacker could find it, and they wouldn't need fancy code. They could just give it a simple command in plain English, telling the agent to find and upload all your private SSH keys. You know, the digital keys that get you into all your servers. Just like that, they'd have the keys to your entire kingdom. This right here says it all. For anyone who's ever typed in a terminal, that command, rmrf-chew, that's the one that makes your blood run cold. It deletes everything in your home directory, no questions asked. If you can run that command, so can the agent. It has all of your power, but none of your judgment. Okay, deep breaths. I know, that was the scary part. We've got this amazing potential on one hand and this huge risk on the other. So what do we do? How do you actually use this thing without opening the door to total disaster? Well, thankfully, we're not just flying blind here. The community and even the big cloud providers have figured out some solid best practices. The whole idea isn't to avoid the agent, but to cage it, to contain it properly. And if there is just one thing you take away from all this, please let it be this. The golden rule of AI agents is to never, ever run a powerful tool like OpenClaw directly on your main operating system. You have to have a layer of isolation. So the most common way people are doing this is through something called containerization, using a tool you've probably heard of, Docker. The best way to think about it is like putting the AI agent in its own little digital padded room. You install OpenClaw inside this secure container. That way, if the agent goes rogue or gets hacked, it can only wreck things inside that one isolated sandbox. Your real computer, your personal files, they stay safe and sound.
Now, if you're thinking, Docker sounds like a lot of work, don't worry. There's an even cleaner, more plug-and-play solution. AWS now offers a prepackaged OpenClaw setup right on Amazon Lightsail. This gives you a secure, sandboxed environment that lives in the cloud, and it's already connected to powerful AI models through Amazon Bedrock. It's basically the enterprise-grade, easy-button way to run your agent securely. So let's pull back for a second. What does all this really mean for us? This whole shift from just talking to an AI to having it do things. This is a fundamental change in how we work with computers. It's a huge deal. It's actually creating this whole new field that people are calling agent ops. You've heard of DevOps, right? For managing code and infrastructure? Well, think of this as the same thing, but for AIs. We're moving way beyond just prompt engineering. The new skill isn't about figuring out the right words to make an AI talk pretty. It's about managing, securing, and monitoring what it does. You know, maybe the absolute best way to frame all of this is with this fantastic metaphor I came across. Treat the agent like a really, really smart but totally inexperienced intern. It's brilliant, it's fast, but it has zero judgment. You would never give a new intern the master keys on their first day, right? No! You give them limited access, you give them clear tasks, and you keep an eye on their work. If you apply that same logic here, this thing can be an absolutely exceptional tool. And that really leaves us with one last big thought. This technology, it's here, and it's only going to get more and more powerful. So the question isn't if we're going to be working with these AI agents, it's how. As they start taking on the role of our digital interns and assistants, our job changes. Our role becomes being their manager, their architect, and their guardian. So the real question is, are you ready for that job?